Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, everyone. This morning I'm very sorry not coming to your classroom, but I try to tell you what you are going to do for today writing projects. Today we'd like to discuss about how to start your research proposal writings. Actually, this is part 1, yeah. Okay, so once again, this is how to start your writing of your proposal writing of your scriptsy, for example. Okay, this is the structure, the first structure of your proposal writing. Actually, on your proposal, there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 elements of your proposal, or 5 segments of your proposal. The first part of your proposal must be an introduction, and then there must be literature review, previous studies, methods, and the last, constructing your instruments. Well, let's try to talk about one by one. Okay, we can see here. Yeah. Today, because this is still for the introductions or part 1 and will be followed by another weeks after mid-test, I guess. So, first of all, now you have to write several paragraphs, which in your paragraphs containing of why your research or your topic interesting to do, and then you present the result of the previous research or previous studies that you have already summarized last 2 weeks. As we see that on your previous studies, we had already discussed what are something missing, what needs to be followed up from those research, from those previous studies. You have already noted that there is something missing, and the time you have already discussed and you know it. If you have still confusing or you have some question, you can drop your questions through WhatsApp. And then in your introductions, because there are something missing or something need to be followed up, something need to do with your research afterward, then you have to write this missing link, this missing thing into a research question. So research question is what will you do then from the missing one? Take for example, one says that from the overall previous studies, take for example, there are only a few research talking about, take for example, the use of online dictionaries in improving students' academic writing. So, in your research question, you can write what are the difficulties faced by the students when using the online dictionaries for their academic writing. That is, take for example. Or you can write your research question, what are the benefits of the online dictionaries for academic writing for the students? Or if you want to do an experiment, you can say, is there any significant difference between the use of online dictionaries and those who used conventional or printed dictionaries? You can do something like that. And then in your introduction, of course, you have to write the scope and the limitation, meaning that your research is limited in your time, of course, in your budgetary, of course, or fees. Therefore, you have to limit because you have only limited times. Then you limit the area of your subject, for instance, into one school, into a small group, for example, or in the academic writing, you only limit your academic writing in terms of essay writing, for example, or anecdote, for example, or narrative writing, for example. This is the kind of the limitations. And then you have also to clarify or to tell your readers, yeah, by doing this research, the result of the study will give benefits for first, for example, for the teachers, for example, for the learners, for example, and from the researchers, for instance. So once again, today you have to write several paragraphs, yeah, telling in the introductions. Again, you have to write down why your research is what or interesting or must do in your research. Why your research again is interesting to do. How important it is. You have to write your reason, your background of your research into one or two paragraphs. And of course, in telling or in in elaborating or in making explanation about why your research is interesting, you have to show from the previous research, from the previous studies, what take for example, the 5 journals review tells about. What are they? You wrote here. What are they? You write the result here. You present the result, and then you write the missing thing in these paragraphs. After you write why your topic is interesting by presenting the previous result, and you give the missing link on the missing thing, need to do another research to follow up. Then you formulate the missing thing in terms of research question. Yeah. And then after that, you try to limit your research. You write the limitation. Yeah. The more limitation you have, the better one. Meaning you have only to work into very small thing, but in very thick or in-depth descriptions, yeah, later on. And then finally, you have to provide the significance of the study, the contribution, your research, yeah, your research afterward. What is your hope by doing this research afterward? Yeah, take for example, this is as innovation for consideration from the teacher to use online dictionaries, for example. So finally, I would like you to write the introduction in first. Why is your topic interesting in 2 or 3 paragraphs? And then the research questions, you can go to 1 or 2 research questions, and then you write scope and limitation in 1 paragraphs, and then the significance of the study you can write in terms of for the students, for the teacher or for other policies. So altogether for the introduction must be finished for today's project. And then after that, don't forget to make a good citation, yeah, and put your references, all references. All right. Okay, that's all for today, and hopefully after you write those, after finishing your writing the introductions, you have to make a presentation in 3 minutes, and your presentations must be uploaded into YouTube, and the what is it, the link should be provided into our Edmodo. The result of your writing is also must be submitted into Edmodo. Alright, thank you and wassalamualaikum.